What's going on, everybody? So if you were as lucky as I was, you were able to see Kevin Durant return to OKC with the fans trolling with the cupcake and all that kind of crap that, Russell Westbrook had kind of, hinted to that with the whole cupcake thing. Doesn't really matter. The bottom line is this. Kevin Durant showed up, 34 points. Russell Westbrook, he had his 47, but in a losing effort, which doesn't really matter to me. This is what the bottom line is right now. Even though after they got taken care of accordingly, all the Golden State Warriors, well, not all of them, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, they did their interviews in their cupcake shirts. It's all for publicity. It was a great showing for the NBA, and not a lot of crazy things happened, which, a lot of people probably thought would. Overall, Golden State is the better team. Everybody knows that. The only thing we have to worry about is whether they're going to be able to get through San Antonio, which probably they will be able to, because San Antonio, some nights they just come out and it's just a joke. So we have to wait to see what goes on with that. But that's the only thing that we have to wait to see, which one of those teams are going to the finals. Nobody else in the West even matters. I'm sorry to let you guys know that if you're fans of other teams, but it's the brutal truth. Now, we're not going to talk about the way that Durant ended the game shooting a three in Russell Westbrook's face. We're not going to talk about that. What we're going to talk about is the fact that people have to get over the fact that Kevin Durant left. Okay? The man is a free agent. He could choose to do what he wants. Now, look, I know they were up 3-1 to the same team he joined, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That is great. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it just because of the competitive nature. And when I say competitive nature, I'm talking like in like a Jordan fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that Jordan didn't win anything until Scottie Pippen came there, but he was able to do it without leaving. See, the knock on a lot of these athletes like LeBron James leaving to go to Miami, and then to get his first wins, get his feet wet, as people may say. They try to knock him for that. But a lot of other athletes have done the same exact thing. It's just that now, because of social media and a lot of the things that are involved with it, everybody looks at him like, oh, bro, why is this guy leaving? I don't understand. But it did look very, very bad for him to join an all-star lineup like that, and just visibly. But they're doing what they have to do. And nobody thought that OKC would win this game. So I don't know why everybody is acting like it was going to be like a crazy upset. OKC is not strong enough. And that's why I commend Russell Westbrook, because he's still, averaging a triple-double, doing the things that he's doing. He's still, what are they, number 7 in the West? They're still a formidable team, but they don't have the tools necessary to win a championship. So right now, all he's doing is trying to live up to whatever the fans expect from him. And hopefully the team management will give them something to, give him some pieces around him to help them win, because they don't stand a chance. We all know this year is already a wrap. The Cleveland Cavaliers have to figure out a way to get a little bit stronger. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. This whole Carmelo Anthony talk, I don't know. But the bottom line is the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs are coming out of the West. That's point blank, period. This game was just very, very exciting because it was Durant's return. Now, there was an instance where he got fouled by Robertson and he went up in his face and stuff like that. Kevin Durant is not that. He's not a bad guy. You can see it in his face, bro. He's not trying to be with all that, trying to punch somebody in the face and do it. He's not Draymond Green. Let me just put it like that. He doesn't have Draymond Green's personality. He's not going to, kick somebody in the nuts or do something he's not going to do anything out of character to an extent. He will lie on social media. He will say that he spoke to Westbrook when he didn't. He will do, try to lessen the feed, or we don't really have problems. We all know that he couldn't wait to get out of there. We all know that. We all know Russell Westbrook is a very, very difficult person to play with. He's not like a Magic Johnson, a guy that's trying to dish. Even though he has the assist, he wants the ball in his hands. Even though, KD had so many All-Stars, MVP. The dude had so many things, and he still had to deal with Russell Westbrook. That's a very, very difficult thing. See, when you're a superstar and you have another superstar on your team, that is a very difficult thing to deal with, because now you got to figure out, who do you defer to? What's going on? If any of you guys that are listening to this recap of this podcast, if you've ever played sports, you know what I'm talking about. There's always a guy on the team or a girl on the team that's really, really good. But then there's that other person that's up and coming, she could do the same thing if that girl got hurt or that guy got hurt. That's what was going on with the Golden State Warriors. The biggest issue is this. Kevin Durant used to sometimes make Westbrook feel like he was the guy. And that's the problem, because when you give him that kind of fuel, Westbrook just goes. The dude is a machine. He just goes. So you're giving him that fuel by letting him do whatever he wants. the result is going to be exactly what we saw. He's going to want to take the team over every time. And I know people blame Kevin Durant a lot for the that devastating 3-1 comeback from the Warriors, but everybody had some involvement. The play calling, the coaches, everybody had some type of involvement with the way that game went downhill. Similar with the Super Bowl we just witnessed. Dan Quinn, I believe that he's completely responsible. At the end of the day, you're the head coach. So if you have a lead or whatever you're doing, you have a 3-1 lead, you got to, listen, you can't cruise. You can't put the brakes on, bruh. And a lot of the games that they lost, it seems like they took their foot off the gas pedal. They wanted to go home, and whatever they wanted to do, it just didn't work out. So Kevin Durant did what he had to do. But I believe very, very much that a lot of the reasoning behind why he left was simply that. Russell Westbrook, bruh. The dude is a savage beast. You got the guy, he wants to be the star, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, people have to understand what is your place on this team. Because remember, he's the point guard. So he's going to have the ball in his hand most of the time anyway. And you know what's funny about Russell Westbrook? I was actually talking to somebody about this. It's very deceptive because the guy always, he averages like 8-9 assists, last year. What was it, like 8-9 assists, something like that? He's always dishing the ball. But it wasn't the scenario that he's not a Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Paul will score when it's necessary and stuff like that. Like he'll do what he has to do, but that he's looking to get his guys involved. When everything is on the line, the biggest thing that I had an issue with is if Kevin Durant is the MVP, right? He was the MVP of the league. If he's that guy, why is it even a question about who the ball goes to? That was my issue. Because if Westbrook was the MVP, I could understand why it would be an issue. But it doesn't make any sense that this is something that Kevin Durant, as a superstar that's being voted MVP, All-Star, all this stuff, is consistently having to deal with a guy that is pretty good. I'm not taking nothing away from Russell Westbrook. The dude is very, very good. I'm just saying that everyone can't complain and go crazy with this whole cupcakes thing if Westbrook is that personality that really, really contributed to Durant leaving. It doesn't make any sense for everybody to act like, oh yeah, bro, he's not loyal, he didn't stay. The guy's a free agent. He could go wherever he wants. It's not that. He would have stayed if it wasn't having to deal with that. Because look, think about it this way. He's on a team with so much firepower with the Golden State Warriors, right? But still dropping 34. But he knows his place on the team. He knows that, you got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you got Draymond Green. So he has to factor it in with that. And he's also new coming into the situation. So in my opinion, with him still getting that many shots and scoring that many points, I think he feels like he's more appreciated there than he was with the OKC. Because it's certain times that you would see them when they were playing together where they would look at each other kind of crazy because Durant wants to say, bruh, give me the ball. But I don't know if Durant's personality being so timid or whatever the situation was, he just would never muster up enough to say it. But now he doesn't need to say it because he has guys that are just, he knows where, what his role is and what he has to do. And that's why I think people give Golden State the best chance of winning the championship. Because when it first started off, they were trying to figure out how they were going to fit in, what they're going to do. When there's a lot of star power, it's very, very difficult. And to be honest with you, their four can be starters on any team right now. It doesn't matter. They're top four players: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant. So when you have all those guys together and you're still able to get 34, that's something huge. People have to realize that it's not all about the fans like, oh, bro, he's a traitor. If you care about him as a fan, you got to want him to have some happiness too. And again, it still has to hurt OKC that he left. But just think about it on a day-to-day basis when you go into a game and there's a guy on the team that is also a superstar, because I believe that Russell Westbrook is also a superstar, but KD was supposed to be that guy, and he just wasn't. And then with the whole reference to the cupcake comment that Russell Westbrook made, and then everybody wearing cupcake shirts and all that stuff like that, bruh, you had no chance of beating the Golden State Warriors. So all in all, it was good TV. It was a good draw and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure nobody expected OKC to win this game. But all in all, I'm happy for Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? You're fitting in. Hopefully he get what he wants. A lot of other players have done it in the NBA. Have went to other teams to get rings and stuff like that. You know, the big three in Boston, all that stuff. Guys been doing it forever, bro. So it is what it is. Things happen. And it was just good to see him go out there and get a win. And it just made it seem as if, you know, what Russell Westbrook is starting to become a sore loser, in my opinion. If you guys watched it and you girls watched it, leave your assessment. Until next time, one love.